Right, here we are back in the shed. I'm just about to fit this caliper. So the mounting bolts turned up today, and I just threaded this in. That's about as tight as that will go. And what I wanted to do is use these modern braided hoses, but problem being the banjos on these are a little bit smaller. That measures 8.56, say at 8.6. I'll say 8.6. This is the original one which came off, and that is 10.12. It's probably 10, but I'll say 10.1. So I've got a little bit of a difference there, and this is about as tight as that will go. Measure that gap there, clean up. That is 9.6. I'll say 9.65, I think. To be accurate, 9.66. Off there. Yeah, 9.65. It's 9.65 is the gap. And what did I say these were? These up there. Zero that again. That is, yeah, that's 0. So 8.6. We want to have a bit of a crush on the washers. So a banjo is 8.66, I think it was. 8.60. 8.60. So what I'm going to have to do is get this in the lathe and skin that down a little bit. And the only other thing is I'm going to have to try and get a cone on the inside, because these have a little internal bevel in there. So I'm going to have to work out what angle that is. I might be able to Google that and just see what that is. And yeah, I'm going to have to shave about 1 mil off there once I've worked out how I'm actually going to hold it in the lathe. So that's what we will have to do now. So just turned up this little bush spacer, 10 mil hole down the middle, and I've just cut a slot in with a hacksaw, so that will slide in there, and then when I tighten the chuck it will clamp down, hopefully hold that tight enough to take off the desired piece off the end of this banjo bolt. So I'm going to grab that like that and put the gap of the slot in the gap between two of the jaws. Get as much of that in there as I possibly can. Right, hopefully we will get somewhere. Right, so we want about 1.91 off the length of that. Let's bring this in. A bit of a wobble on that when I move that up close. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe give that a little bit of a tighten up further around. If this doesn't work, I'll have to put it in the 4-jaw chuck, which will probably give a better grip. Okay, so let's get this. This is stainless steel, so it's pretty hard. Try some more in there. A little bit of cotton fluid. Let's try that much. And I'm just going to take tiny amounts off. See how it cuts. I might just end up pushing it back in the sleeve. I may not grip it enough. Yeah, I've got a feeling that's pushing that out. Right, I have to try and find a way of clamping that in there a bit tighter. Because I think that is just pushing back. Let's have a rethink. Right, so I've just cut that slot into the bottom side of the bush as well, just to see if that'll give a little bit more squeeze on it. I think the problem is because I've got the shoulder at the back, so the other option is to cut this bushing down a bit further so it's only gripping on this part. But we'll try this, see how it goes. Get that in a slight offset if I can. Right, let's try that. Right, that seems better. Right, just take that out and give that a measure. Right, well that was pretty much bang on. So the next thing is to put the cone back in this edge, and I'll also have to put a chamfer on the outside. Now I had a look online. Let's just get this out of the way. I had a look online, and what I could tell, the cone in there should be 60 degrees, which fortunately these centre drills, this second taper on here is 60 degrees. So what I'm thinking is I can just bore up inside there. I did measure the end hole or relief what was left to about 6 mil, so I'll try and hit that if we can, which might be difficult. Get this out of the way if I can. I don't know if you'll actually see anything on the camera or not. Right. Look at that back there. Back down. Bit of cotton fluid. And we'll see how this goes. Because the problem is with this is we're pushing in directly against the clamp. So see what happens. In there. And let's just stop back there, see what sort of size we got. Which is going to be quite difficult to measure. Pretty much got to do this by eye. Yep, that'll do it. Now, just try and get a chamfer on here, which is not going to be easy. Okay, that's a bit tricky. Couldn't come in from this way and just use the chamfer tool. I've had to just swing the compound round, and I'll just have to point cut the chamfer on there. It's going to be a bit tricky, not a lot of room to spare. Any drawback with a small lathe. I think that will do it. Can't go any closer than that. So, just get the burrs off that, and we'll give it a try. There we are. Just have to give that a blow through with the air gun, and hopefully I'll be okay. Right, so here we are, that's in. 0, what have we got? Clean them up as well. .94. So next thing will be try to get on the bike. You can see that any better. It doesn't focus very well, this camera. See that cone in there. Okay, so bolt, one shot, yeah. Spring washer, flat washer. There. Same with this one. Right, 17. Just loosely tighten these for now. And torque them up later. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping is one of these cables I've got here, which came off my old Ducati. I'm hoping they're going to be the right size. Might just have to raise this camera up a bit, I think. I think one of these is slightly longer than the other one. Yeah. What should we go with? Longer one or short one? Short one, like. Short one will do. There. Through here, I'm guessing somewhere. It needs to be that way around. It's going to be like that. It's probably not really the right angle. Try there. It just have to be a temporary. I think these really to be out back. It might be a bit of an extreme angle. So we're going to test if they actually do work. room here. Right. Time we get a clamp to there. Time we get a clamp in there. I think that'll look alright. Okay, so connected that end. Found up a little clamp on there. Just holding that down, and that's the top end. So next thing to do would be to get some fluid in and bleed it. Okay, so now have brake. That feels pretty good, pretty solid, not spongy or anything. That should be okay. Just use the old-fashioned bleed method, just a bit of hose on there into a jar, and yeah, so that's another job ticked off.